Look around. We are in the tabernacle of tennis. Center court, Wimbledon.
Connors to serve.
Dating back to 1922, this particular edifice. But the tournament itself, 1877. We're beginning the second century of the oldest tournament. Somebody has broken up Jimmy with a cry of good luck. The first smile we've seen on center court today.
But the weather was bad this morning, and I wondered whether they'd get around to practicing, but they did get out. They practiced under slightly damp conditions earlier this morning, but they had a Borg practice for about half an hour.
For the title, here we go, the Brash Basher of Belleville. Best of 5, always, at Wimbledon. 14,000 people here.
Second service.
1 year ago, they went the distance. Borg won at 6-4 in the 5th. Got it! Borg!
It's going to be interesting to watch as this match develops. Jimmy Connors' tactics.
15.
I have a pretty fair idea what Bjorn Borg's going to do. He's going to mix his game up between coming in and staying back. Jimmy, I felt, didn't come to the net enough last year. If he had, he may have been able to pull out the match.
Wide.
Love 30.
Jimmy attacking, and he has his first point.
15-30.
Good lob. Connors lobbed so beautifully.
That was a very deceptive lob too. Borg was close in at the net, and he was ready to cover any sort of passing shot Jimmy could hit. So Jimmy played a great shot.
In his semifinal triumph over Vitas Gerulaitis 9-7, 6-2, 6-1, Connors was peerless with the lob. Reminded me of John Newcomb a few years ago. Good. And a break point.
And a very interesting approach shot from Bjorn Borg there. He came under it heavily with slice.
40.
Didn't try to hit it deep, hit it short to Connors' forehand. That's where Borg feels that he can really attack Connors. Short, low balls to the forehand.
And the forehand is what came apart at the end last year for Jimmy. And in the U.S. Open against Vilas. Connors saves the breaker with an attack.
You saw that ball from Borg there, Bud, and it was a higher bouncing one to Connors' forehand, and Connors likes that ball when it bounces high on his forehand. He can really come over it. It's the low ball that he doesn't like.
Advantage Connors.
That's a deuce.
Deuce. Advantage Connors.
What a good second serve that was from Jimmy Connors. Kicking wide out to the forehand side of Borg, forcing him out court.
Place is packed as usual. A little over 11,000 seats, 1,500 standing on either side. He gets a piece, but not enough. Jimmy Connors has the opening game. A long way to go. It's best of 5 for the title at the Big W.
And Connors.
When I'm assigned to shoot a guy like John Newcomb, I pack my Canon AE-1 with several lenses. Because I'm after more than just John's form. Creativity means capturing his intensity. You try it, John.
Me?
Sure. The AE-1 is so simple, you can really concentrate on your subject. About all you do is focus and click.
The surprisingly affordable Canon AE-1. So advanced, it's simple.
My broker says, in the long run, that kind of investment could be a good idea. What's your broker say?
Well, my broker is E.F. Hutton. And E.F. Hutton says,
When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen.
And coming up later this afternoon, we'll see Billie Jean King in her quest for a record 20th championship at Wimbledon in the mixed double. She'll be teamed with Ray Ruffles. They'll be going against Prue McMillan and Betty Stove. She is currently tied with the record 19 with Elizabeth Ryan, who is 86 years old.
England and London, the home of a man that's known around the world, a tradition, a great man in the fight for democracy. And you're looking at another British tradition. Today, you're looking at center court, Wimbledon. Game 2, and here are Bud and John.
Bjorn Borg will serve for the first time. Seems almost ancient, John. He's 22 now. He's got some good tennis left, though.
Yeah, if he wins Wimbledon today, I don't know what he's going to see ahead of him on the tennis courts.
Perhaps a Grand Slam. Borg to Connors, the rivalry that Jimmy Connors said yesterday will live after us. Winner.
Last 15.
Second game of the match. So each man
Love 30.
has been down love 30 on serve.
First service.
Who says he can't serve and volley?
$15-30.
That was a great serve to be able to put in at love 30 down, Bud, right in the corner.
Ooh. Long.
30-all. $40-30.
And each man has been in a deuce game. And a break point. And Jimmy twice today, John, has been jammed on that serve and belly buttoned it back. Let's see it.
Great return of serve there, low, not trying to hit a winner, just forcing Bjorn to volley the ball up. Good play from Jimmy.
Popped a string, I believe.
Broken a string already. He gets his racket strung at about 75 pounds. It's a unbelievably tight pressure. The average tennis player gets his racket strung at about 60 pounds.
What did you have?
I had around 60 pounds.
Around
in fact,
60.
The last 5 years, I've dropped it to about 58. Second serve.
And it's break point. It's on the baseline. Connors finds the first opening in the match. His mother seems pleased. 2 games to none.
But that's not an unusual start for Jimmy Connors. He's
Game to Connors. 2 games to love. Connors leads in the first set.
very quick off the mark. He's able to start off aggressively. Borg, so many matches has started off slow. There's a long way to go yet. 2-love to Connors, first set.
That was an 18-stroke rally, the longest of the match thus far. Connors won the opening set a year ago, 6-2. Off the mark quickly.
Love 15.
It's a winning lob.
That was a great lob because Bjorn Borg's approach shot was very deep and he had good net position.
15 all.
It's strange, but there's only 2 games played, but so far Bjorn Borg would be the more aggressive of the 2 as far as coming to the net.
Connors is wide.
15-30.
I don't know if this is a tactic of Jimmy Connors, but a couple of times now when he's come to the net on the first volley, instead of volleying it back to Borg, he's played the drop volley.
First double of the match.
15-40.
And so Jimmy is in breakpoint trouble. Breakpoint against him in the opening game. Double breaker. His first serve has been atrocious thus far. And
Game
the break.
to Borg.
So Borg is back in it on serve. Connors has the lead 2 games to 1, but Bjorn will be serving when we return to center court.
Connors leads by 2 games to 1. First set.
But Jimmy Connors has never been anything but excellent at Wimbledon, starting in 1972 when he first showed up, quarterfinalist. This is his 4th final. He's been the champion once in 1974. Lost to Arthur Ashe in 75. Lost to Borg last year.
Love 15.
Ace, first of the match.
15 all.
White.
30-15.
Jimmy Connors showing his tremendous court coverage. Coming up, almost making the winner down the line here.
Whew. He hummed it.
40-15.
That was another big serve.
What a fine serving game for Bjorn Borg. And he catches up at 2 games all.
2 games all, first set.
But Borg's game seems to be improving each year by just about little fractions. You notice his volley getting a little better every year, his service power and his second serve getting a little better.
He shouldn't be washed up at 22.
You wonder how good he's going to be. 25 years of age.
Love 15.
White.
15 all.
Connors. 25. Number 1 in the United States. Number 1 on the Association of Tennis Pros computer. Strangely, Borg is 3 on the computer. Sometimes I think machines lie.
And Jimmy's still refusing to serve and volley behind his first serve.
You don't approve of that?
I think he should be mixing it up a lot more.
Net court for Connors.
30 all.
Jimmy is a flat driver of the ball. He hits the ball with a flatter racket face. Bjorn Borg plays with topspin. He makes fewer errors than Jimmy does in a match, unforced errors. Therefore, Jimmy should try to make the points a little shorter. The longer the point goes on, the more the odds are in Borg's favor to win it.
Borg, nearly in the royal box. Skyhook.
But what a rally of thrust and counter thrust that was. Both players in at the net, getting forced back.
30-40.
Doesn't come in.
Well, Bjorn having a look at the court there because he felt he was set up on that shot to whip it across court, but the ball propped when it bounced. Caused him to miss timing.
Borg, incredibly strong these days. Connors, you have to wonder. He was in the hospital with mononucleosis in May. He says he's just happy to be here.
Advantage Connors.
Second deuce.
Deuce.
Well, Jimmy may prove me wrong as the match goes on, but I don't think he's going to beat Bjorn from the baseline.
Who does?
No, nobody. Must come in more.
Gloria Connors, teaching pro herself, as was her mother, raised Jimmy for this patch of grass. And a break point.
Advantage Borg.
Borg again, way back. Couple of yards. Ooh! And now Bjorn Borg has a lead 3 games to 2 on the break at Wimbledon.
Game to Borg.
Introducing a brand.
Connors, champion 4 years ago, John, is down a break. How is the match shaping up to you?
Well, Jimmy led 2 games to Luck, and he's lost 3 games in a row. He's playing much too much from the baseline, especially on his serve. He's getting some good first serves in. Borg isn't returning the ball that low. Jimmy should be on top of the net to put that volley away. For some reason, he fears Borg's return of serve, and he shouldn't be as frightened as he is.
Borg serving, 3 games to 2. Both men on winning streaks. Borg 19 straight matches. Connors 18 straight matches. Borg had to default, breaking his winning streak in Dallas, but he's gone 35 matches without being beaten on court. Connors.
Love 15.
Jimmy Connors here playing the approach shot, moving into good net position. Easy put away.
Love 15. Both men first serving around 50%. Not good. It's out.
Love 30.
Oh, he serves that wide ball well with a 2-fisted backhand. The shot that Arthur Ashe showed the world
15-30.
how to probe Jimmy with 1975 final. Let's see it.
Here's the wide slice serve out to Jimmy Connors, 2-handed backhand. It's a hard one to return if you've only got one hand.
15-30, the ball goes long 30 off.
30 all.
Bjorn's mixing his serves up well. One to the forehand, one to the backhand, one straight at the body.
Great point.
30-40.
If Borg has a weakness on his volleys, it's the slow one that goes to his low volley. Doesn't have a particularly good low volley, although it has improved in the last couple of years.
Got it. But long.
Deuce.
These people will stand for hours beside the court. Bjorn Borg, 1978 earnings, 507,000, but that's very deceptive because he's actually made only 190,000 in tournament play. That's everything. But it all goes in the bank, doesn't it? And to the IRS. That's long.
Advantage Borg.
Both men are millionaires on prize money. Connors, $1,822,000 and change. Borg, $1,238,000. But today, they're not thinking of cash.
Deuce.
2 deuces.
When they do make an error, it's not by very far, is it? It's 2 or 3 inches over the line.
They know where the court is. Oh, he's serving that wide ball well.
Oh, that was some volley he came up with there. I think he'd consider himself fortunate if he made that volley every time.
Borg.
It was a super return from Connors.
Game to Borg.
So Borg has the game. He had the difficulty of a break point, but he's ahead 4-2.
Borg leads
He's making
by
the
4
volley
games
when he
to
needs
2
it.
in the first set.
Well, let's see if Jimmy decides to serve and volley a few times on his first serve this game.
Quietly.
Umpire is Youssef Makar. You hear his voice for the score.
First service.
Youssef in the chair. Been here many times in center court. Two double faults for Jimmy.
Last 15.
But that umpire up there, he umpired my junior boys singles final in the French Championships in 1961. That's how long he's been around.
Youssef Makar, and he still remembers the numbers. It's a long time back, your junior final. Did you play it against Tilden?
all.
It's going long.
15-30.
Good serve.
all.
Now Jimmy, with his second
40.
double fault.
That was not a good time to serve a double fault. 2-4 down and 30 all. There's break point against him. If he loses this game, he'll almost surely lose the first set. Ooh.
That will go long.
Good.
And Jimmy came up with an unnecessary little antic there, pretending to hit the ball and wagging his finger at Bjorn. Bjorn already had his back turned, but just shows you the pressure that Jimmy's under. I don't think he realized he was actually going to do that.
Watch that bounce. Oh, the topspin. On the baseline. Still going. call. Good.
It's good. Well, Jimmy's got to be saying to himself, what do I have to do to get the ball away from this guy? He doesn't make any errors, and then he retrieves my winners and hits winners back.
With an incredible scoop of a seemingly perfect drop volley, it is break point. And the winning reply. Bjorn Borg. Let's see this again.
Right, Jimmy coming in now and playing a super drop shot, which I don't know how Bjorn got to it, but not only did he do that, but he hit a winner.
And he has won 5 straight games. Borg in the first set at Wimbledon.
The Duchess of Kent, along with the capacity crowd at Center Court Wimbledon. I'm Jim Simpson with Hillary Hilton, and at Center Court, Borg-Connors and John Newcomb. We are in the first set of the final match, and Bjorn Borg is up 2 service breaks and is now about to serve in an attempt to wrap up this first set. Last year, remember, was an exciting 5-setter. Thus far, this man looks to be in charge, at least in the first set. Let's go to Bud and John.
Bjorn Borg, and here's Jimmy Connors. Borg, the cold wave in short pants. No expression. Very lucky to get to the second round. Tough 5-setter against Vic Amaya, another left-hander, but Borg came through. Now, he is serving for the first set. New balls, changing after 7, and here after every 9 games.
15 love.
Connors won their last meaningful meeting. That was the final of the Masters in New York. 6-4, 1-6, 6-4. Best of 3 set match.
Oh, that's a powerful serve. Bjorn is really opening the shoulder.
30 love.
Bjorn Borg trying for 3 straight titles. Last man to beat him here, Arthur Ashe, 1975 quarterfinals. Ashe won the title. Borg has won 20 straight matches at Wimbledon. Ooh,
Great shot, Jimmy. Really got on top of that ball.
30-15.
Connors moving around, across his backhand and hitting an off forehand shot. Tremendous forehand drive.
30-15. On the line. Topspin lob will go long, and he will have set point.
Once again in that point, Jimmy had a chance to take the net after he'd put the lob over Bjorn's head. Against any other player in the world, I think he would have been in on top of the net.
Ooh. Just wide, says John Llewellyn. Borg, everything but long. Had Jimmy on a string.
40-30.
Still set point. And Bjorn Borg, who might have been at deuce, has the first set on a 6-game run. He came from love 2 to win it 6-2.
It's funny, Bud, how a year changes things, because
Borg by 6 games to 2.
12 months ago when these players played in the final of Wimbledon, Bjorn did not know if he could beat Jimmy Connors. Today, I think he honestly believes that he can beat Jimmy.
He believes he's the better player. I think
Yes.
that final last year was a tremendous psychological lift for Borg, particularly when he led 4-love in the 5th. Connors came back to 4-all, and then Borg calmly won 8 of the last 9 points.
It's not going to reach that one.
15 love.
On the other hand, last year with Connors thinking, before they played the final, I think he honestly believed in his heart that he was a better player than Borg. Now there's a little doubt.
It's the line. Long. I have the feeling that Jimmy is expending more energy in his rallies, John.
30 love.
Well, this is Bjorn Borg's type of game, long baseline rallies. He laps it up. He loves running side to side and bringing the balls back, spending a lot of energy.
They first played 5 years ago. Borg won in all matches. Connors, in all matches, Jimmy's edge is 8 wins and 5 losses.
40 love.
Several of those matches have been exhibitions, however, and he leads 7 matches to 2 in meaningful matches. That's out.
40-15.
And Jimmy breaks the 6-game streak of Borg, winning the opening game of the second set.
James Connors,
See them both, John.
first game,
Yep.
second
Return of
set.
serve from Borg. You can see the top spin. Racket head going down below the ball and coming viciously over the top. Jimmy Connors hits a flatter ball. Both players bend their knees, get down when they hit the stroke. Borg attacking the net here. Connors coming up with a great passing shot.
We'll be back with Borg serving in the second set.
The shimmering you see on this winter day is caused by heat, a very little heat. But Westinghouse has developed a way to take heat out of the air and bring it into the home. To heat homes, the Westinghouse heat pump can extract heat from winter air. It can reverse itself to air condition. Industrial heat is recovered by a larger heat pump. There is unused energy all around us, made usable now by Westinghouse, a powerful part of your life.
We're the Aetna Insurance Company of Hartford. Our friends call us Little Aetna, but we don't mind because we think it means we're a little better. We're careful about the way we write your property and casualty insurance. But don't think that just because we're careful, we're conservative. In marine insurance, for instance, we've pioneered ways to help keep your interests afloat. We're thinking all the time because we're still fired up about our end of the insurance business.
All eyes are on Wimbledon as the world's...
About the rivalry between Jimmy Connors on your left and Bjorn Borg, and they will speak for hours. But let's ask the players themselves what Collins did before they played. What about the rivalry between these two?
Are you friends?
Yeah, we're good friends.
How good is that? You say good friends. Do you go out or do you...
No, we don't go out, but, you know, he has his friends, I have my friends. But, you know, when we see each other, we speak and, you know, joke around and these things. And, you know, but when we go out, you know, play our matches, we are, you know, competitive, both of us. And, you know, especially to play Jimmy, that's, you know, that's what I want to do. You know, I always look forward to playing.
Well, we've been biting at each other for a couple of years now, the two of us. And I kind of like it, actually. The more I play him, the more interest it arouses among people in tennis, out of tennis, or whatever. And this is, if you want to call it a rivalry or whatever you want to call it.
I would call it that,
well,
yes.
You know, this rivalry, as you say, is going to last way beyond our years in tennis, I'm sure. And the more matches we play and the better the matches are that we play, the more they're going to be around after we aren't.
He says it's a great rivalry. Do you agree?
I agree with that.
So these are some of the people who consider themselves fortunate at center court, packed in. The green hole of southwest London, that was standing room. That section on either side of the court. 3,000 people, standees. They stood in line a long time just to stand some more. But it's worth it to see these two. Borg going at Connors. Borg leads 6-2, love 1.
Last 15. First service.
That's a let. Ball. Ticking the top of the net. Dan Blunt, the net judge, middle right of your screen. His grandmother was a Fortescue. Borg.
15-all.
I think Jimmy changed his mind that he was going to try a passing shot at. In the last second, he decided that Borg had too good a net position, so he tried to go over his head.
Borg, serve and volley. It may not look classic, but he makes the point.
15. First service. First service.
Ooh, gee. Fault called by George Armstrong, but what a meteor that serve was. Net cord for Jimmy.
30-all.
Bjorn tried that probing approach shot again, coming under the ball, keeping it short to Connors' forehand. Jimmy came up with a good answer.
Problem shot, John. Why?
Well, I think he was going for a bit too much on that one. The ball was too low to the ground to try to play such an aggressive approach shot. I feel he probably should have played that ball back deep and kept his position at the back of the court.
The lob will be good.
It's a great lob.
And Connors was where you said he should be when he lobbed so well.
That lob over the opponent's head. Now look at Jimmy Connors moving into the net. That's where you have to be when you get a lob over your opponent's head. Don't stand back on the baseline and watch it.
Deuce.
First service.
Chrissy Everett defeated in the women's final. Cheering for James Scott Connors.
Advantage ball.
And the man in the booth, Fred Perry, watching Borg try to catch up with him 36 years later. 42 years later, I should say. Fred Perry won Wimbledon 1934, 35, 36. The last to win 3 successive years. A radio commentator now.
Advantage ball.
He has said more power to Borg. Ace for Bjorn. 1 game all, his second ace.
This is what's giving Jimmy Connors some trouble at the moment. Some great serving from Bjorn Borg. Right in the corner. A clean ace. That's a perfect serve. Perfect way to finish off the game. 1 game all, the second set, and 1 set love up for Bjorn Borg.
That bounce. Connors.
15 love.
2 young men who have helped make the two-handed backhand a vogue. Connors, because he was too small to lift the racket very well as a child, said he started at 2. Borg adapting a hockey slap shot to tennis. Volley off a volley.
Yes. And Jimmy puts everything into it when he plays, doesn't he, Bud? You can hear that grunt when he serves and every time he hits the ball.
15.
What a nice shot over there, forcing the Bjorn to volley up in the air.
Let's listen. It's 30-15. When you hear this sound, you will not be at Seal Island, Maine. The bark of Connors. Borg is devastating now.
30 all.
Connors.
That's the serve and volley that
40-30.
I feel he should be doing more of, putting it in good effective serve and moving it in the net. Bjorn's going to hit some winners on the return of serve, but not enough to...
You've got to give him something to think about anyway.
That's right.
Keep him honest. Net cord.
Good.
And the errant forehand gives Borg a break point. First of the set. Ooh, unusual.
Good.
And that was an important point. Bjorn knew it too. He tried to play too good a short approach shot that time.
Advantage Borg.
Now the breaker.
Jimmy certainly wouldn't like to fall behind a service break early in the second set. This is a very important game. It's a long game and it's an important game.
Ooh. The forehand approach, and Jimmy Connors is down. A set and a break. Bjorn Borg leading 2-1 in the second set of their best of 5 at Wimbledon.
The more fun you have when you play it back seconds later on your Polavision player.
Good form. What a form.
When will I ever learn? Good shot.
Polavision, the new instant movies from Polaroid. You could even learn a little bit about yourself.
Sears National Automotive Sale. Now on sale, the Sears 36 battery. Loaded with starting power and it's maintenance free. At only $26.99, you save $8 on Sears 36 battery.
Sears offers this year's biggest savings on their best-selling belted tire, the Dynaglass Belted 25. Sale prices start as low as $26. A great value on a great belted tire. At Sears.
Columbo discovers television isn't all fun and games when he investigates the death of a network exec. Make Me a Perfect Murder, the big event, Sunday at 9, 8 Central.
The creaming of strawberries. Well, it seems like Borg just did a little creaming himself in the first set against Connors, and now he's up a break in the second. Let's see what happens now.
This is the place where every tennis player wants to win. Only one will do it, of course. And if it is Bjorn Borg, he will be the first man in 42 years to win 3 straight titles since Fred Perry. Let's try to clarify that a little. Rod Laver won 4 straight times that he entered. 1959, 1960, 1961, 62, 68, and 69. Laver was away 6 years as a pro before open tennis. There have been other players who won more than 3 straight years back in the early days of the game before 1900, but that was before the champion had to play the entire tournament. So Borg shooting for an incredible mark.
Second service.
Fred Perry led Britain to the Davis Cup in the 1930s. Very witty, urbane gentleman. Connors.
Love 15.
Jimmy's up. And has the point, love 30.
Well, this was a dangerous shot for Bjorn to try. You see the lob go over his head. He runs back. Jimmy's got good net position. Almost impossible to pass him from there. Bjorn should have lobbed the ball.
Connors' best position in the second set. And he has triple breaker.
Love 40. $15-40.
Connors got it. Borg.
30. 14.
One more in a lineup of break points. Gloria Connors.
It's essential for Jimmy Connors to try to break back serve immediately here.
Chris Everett. Service winner.
Well, and the difference between these two at the moment, Bud, is their first serves. Borg is playing much better grass court tennis behind his first serve.
So he climbs out of the thicket of love 40. It's deuce. Another breaker for Jimmy.
Advantage Connors.
That was a good lob from Connors, then forcing Borg all the way. Here's a second serve. I imagine Bjorn will stay back behind this. Well, he was lucky to get out of that point. He didn't hit this first volley well at all. Now he comes running up to the net and almost touches the net with his racket. If he had touched the net with his racket, he would have lost the point.
Second deuce. Bjorn mixing it up, but predominantly going wide with that two-fisted backhand.
Advantage Borg.
What depth. Connors, it was a good approach, John.
You couldn't play a better point and find yourself losing it. Both players with tremendous depth on their drives, looking for the short ball to try and approach the net. Here's where Connors gets it, comes in, and now look at that flick across court.
Escape for Bjorn Borg from love 40, from 4 breakers to 3-1. Connors serves.
And another one across court.
Love 15. $15-all.
Three cross-court backhand passing shots. Just can't hit them any better than that.
Now he's an axe mover with that two-fisted backhand.
30.
It swings like old Margaret, who used to be the executioner at the Tower of London. Happy-go-lucky Swede. Connors has the line.
What a shot under pressure. 15-30 down. If he misses that, he's down double break pointer.
30-all.
Woo! And Connors went wide.
Oh, there's a good serve.
Excellent.
Yeah, Jimmy's got to take a few chances now to try and
40,
pull himself out of trouble, and this is what he did the last 2 points. It's a crucial time in the match for Jimmy.
That goes long. And Connors in a tight game hold serve. Borg is up a break throw. 3-2 in the second set, and he won the first.
Game to Connors.
Bjorn Borg at the back of the court there, coming over the ball with that backhand and forehand, really getting down to that low one then.
We'll return to center court.
Winning. The Wilson Jack Kramer autograph has been winning for 30 years. It's won Wimbledon and Forest Hills 14 times. And it continues to win. In all pro and amateur USTA singles championships last year, more people won with Kramer autographs than any other racket. A classic wood design and construction give the Kramer autograph control. Control that helped more players win USTA championships than any other racket. Wilson, we're not #1 for nothing.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
There he is. Hey, you got here early. Al, 2 more Lowen Brown. Lowen Brown. Well, isn't that what regional sales managers drink? You? You got it. I got it. You got it. You got it.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Congratulations, Big Shaq. And I suppose you're going to forget your friends now? Probably.
Let it be Lowenbrow.
This young nurse is being introduced to an advanced electronic system that we designed for many of today's hospitals. A system that, for example, can tell you instantly which doctors are on the premises and how to get in touch with them, which nurse is closest to any given patient, and can even summon up patient information in seconds.
Gee.
No, GTE.
Hey, the sun's gonna shine all day. Did you hear what the weatherman say? It's time for a Coke, it ain't no joke. The sun's gonna shine all day.
Is it hot where you are? It's cool where we are. Ice cold Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola life, Coca-Cola's life.
Billie Jean King will try for a record 20th Wimbledon championship as she teams with Ray Ruffles in the mixed doubles.
Back in center court, the single-handed championship, as we've heard this called, but they don't mind if a double-hander Borg wins it.
15 love.
Ancient terminology, the single-handed championship. Connors somewhere needs a break to enter this match. Stroke rally, but the man at the net wins it. The man, they said 2 years ago, could not play at the net, could not play grass court tennis. Well, he's only won 20 straight in this tournament. 20 straight matches. The record is 31 by Rod Laver.
$40 love.
Two for Borg. Easy serving game.
Well, that last point, Jimmy tried something, Bud, that I've been wondering whether he should try, which is take a short second serve of Borg and try and run to the net, but he didn't feel comfortable with trying that tactic. He sort of got off balance and tried to do it.
Connors trying to hang in. Down a set. Down a break.
First serve.
Lost in 5 1 year ago. A rematch. Well over a decade since the last Wimbledon rematch. In the final.
Love 15.
Well, Jimmy's a very worried man at the moment. He can't seem to penetrate this wall of defense and offense that's at the other end of the court by the name of Bjorn Borg.
Leonard Berglin on the right, Mariana Siminescu, the Romanian player, Bjorn's great and good friend. Love 30. Sticky game for Jimmy Connors. They're lined up, 3 breakers. That will just about squeeze the life out of this set for Jimmy. It is good. 1 breaker erased.
15-40.
15-40. Connors cannot afford a mistake. Two breakers.
Good play.
Erased.
Took the chance and came to the net.
30-40.
Jimmy's almost being forced to come to the net now, because if he doesn't, what happens is they're having a long rally and then Borg's coming in and winning the point. I'm wondering why Jimmy likes to serve this first serve down the middle to a lot of players, and he hasn't been using it today. Down the middle of the court to the second court.
Wide again. Topspin. Connors rises from the ashes of love 40. He's a deuce. Gloria Connors on the right of the screen. Jimmy's entertainer, as he calls him, Bobby Riggs. He makes me laugh, he says. Chrissy Everett. Riggs, the old geriatric sex symbol. Another breaker.
Awful tough. Bjorn Borg at the moment. Coming up with every answer. Lob volley back over Connors' head. And puts the smash away. Awfully tough.
Game to go. And Bjorn Borg up 5-2 will be serving for the set when we return.
What you up to, old-timer? Putting Olympic overcoat over old paint. Not you old paint, this old paint. Overcoat? It's the latex house paint made to cover old paint. Flows like cream, wears like iron. That tough acrylic finish lasts for years. Olympic overcoat. You can't buy a better house paint. Real dirt. On sale now. Save $3 a gallon at participating Olympic dealers.
Get a little style in your life. Add a little life to your style.
Your style is like no other, and few other cars add more style to it than the new size Chrysler LeBaron. Young, original, individual, Chrysler class, yet sticker priced like Cutlass Supreme, comparably equipped.
Add a little life to your style.
Chrysler LeBaron. Add little life to your style.
Athletes, they come in all shapes and sizes. There's hard-hitting heavyweights and hard-headed lightweights, jet-propelled sprinters and high-powered swimmers, runners with long hair and others with no hair. But they all have one thing in common, Moscow and the dream of winning an Olympic medal. You can help by sending a contribution to U.S. Olympic Committee, Box 1980C, Cathedral Station, Boston. For $10 or more, you'll receive this Olympic gold-plated medallion. This message was furnished by the U.S. Olympic Committee.
Jimmy Connors, who walks toward us, has once ruled this theater of tennis, this Elizabethan theater, Open Center, 1974. He seemed invincible then. He has returned 3 times to the final and has not won. And now this man, Bjorn Borg, is going for the second set at 5-2.
Love 15.
Wide. Connors has a chance.
But it seems incredible that you could think before this match started that Borg would be leading 6-2, 5-2. But Jimmy's not playing badly. Borg is just doing everything right.
Ace for Borg.
Every time he gets into trouble, he's been coming up with the right answers.
He has 3 aces. 3 points from the set. Ace for Borg.
It's like 2 service games ago. He was down love 40 and he came up with some big points.
Let's see it again. Jimmy Connors doesn't want to see it again.
Chalk everywhere. You can't do much about that.
30 all. He gets a piece of it, a bad bounce, and the reverse spin.
Everything is going Borg's way now. He was so lucky to win that point.
40-30.
From love 30 to set point. He can put the weight of 2 set points on Connors on 2 sets. Connors! Crowd, I think, is torn. They like Connors' gameness, the fact that he's the underdog, yet they'd like to see Borg win his 3rd straight. Set point again.
It's so strange, Bud, that you should use the term underdog for Connors.
Isn't it? When I said it, I said, can I be, #1 man on the ATP computer? And yet, the bookmakers pick Borg.
This is an important game for Jimmy, as every other one has been, of course. But if he's going to lose this set, he needs to try to establish some authority, at least in doing it, so that he'll be able to start off the 3rd set strong.
Second deuce. And more chalk. Net court, everything going for the Swede. Miss hit by it. How can you take a 3 in a row like that?
No, he didn't miss hit that last volley. That went exactly where he wanted it to.
Oh, he went where he wanted, but I think he hit the frame with it. Never mind, he's got the point. And it is set point 3.
Run!
Connors a little late in his charge. Borg slides it past him and has a 2-set lead.
Well, Bud, what can you say? So far, 2 sets played. Bjorn Borg has just been as good as you can be in his counter-attack and in his attack. Jimmy Connors doesn't know exactly what to do at this stage. He has to keep attacking because there's no use staying on the baseline with this man Bjorn Borg. He's got to take some chances, serve and volley. I think he should switch his attack a little bit, start serving more. First serves to Borg's forehand.
That is out. 15 love. And to give heart to the Connors zealots out there, our statistician Steve Flink is going to tell us when he has come back from 2 sets down. We'll have that for you. Jimmy did it as recently as the U.S. Pro Indoor in Philadelphia this year against an excellent player, Brian Gottfried. However, we are looking at Bjorn Borg. (30-15).
Jimmy coming in, which he has to do in this set as much as he possibly can. Borg goes for that little cross-court passing shot again, but it doesn't come off.
Last year, the score of the match for Borg was 2-6, 6-2, 6-1, 5-7, 6-4. Now Jimmy Connors has the opening game of the 3rd set that he has lost the first 2 sets in the final at Wimbledon.
This is the trademark of the Little Aetna Insurance Company of Hartford. Some people resent being called little, but in Aetna's case, we think it means we're a little better because we're doing everything we can to support the independent agents who serve you. We've put money into their scholarship fund for insurance careers, and we're supporting an experimental training course for independent agents' employees after they're on the job. Why are we going out of our way to be a little better? Because we're still fired up about our end of the insurance business.
Great shot. One more point.
There's the game of tennis, and then there's the sport of tennis. When you're serious enough to play tennis as a sport, this is the ball you'll play. Penn. Penn, America's largest maker of tennis balls. With a live bounce and responsive feel, serious players demand. When you're serious about tennis, Penn is the ball you'll play. Penn tennis balls.
Good game.
Played well.
We are bringing you same-day coverage of this men's singles match. I've been saying that we're glad that the satellite is still up. That's not exactly true. The satellite has always been up. We've had no problem there. It's the post office that's on strike, and they handle the landline. So our problem has been to get the pictures from here to the satellite. The satellite folks have been very cooperative. We have other problems. But speaking of problems, who's got more problems at center court than Jimmy Connors? Let's go back there.
Indeed, Jimmy has problems. And when you've got Borg problems, it's like termites in a balsa wood house. John, what can Jimmy do to overturn Borg? Can he overturn him?
Well, it's possible, but he's got to play some super tennis. He must stop doing whatever he's been doing the game. As I mentioned in the last game, I think he probably should switch his attack on his first serve to Borg's forehand a few times. It's strange for him, he usually mixes it up more, but he seems to be serving most of the balls to Borg's forehand. Anyway, Bjorn Borg serving now.
Jimmy Connors broke Borg in the opening game of the match. and not since.
15 love.
Borg himself is serving exceptionally well, mixing them up from right to left, changing the pace, serving some hard, some with slice. And at this stage of the match, or so far in the match, Borg is playing the better grass court tennis. Grass court tennis means offensive tennis.
One set away from the title. Bjorn Borg has lost only 3 matches this year to Tom Gullickson, Roscoe Tanner, and a name I don't recognize, John Newcomb. Perfect.
30-15.
Connors has lost only 2 matches to Hank Pfister and Jeff Borowiak. John, I saw you beat Bjorn Borg last year at the Newport Casino, Newport, Rhode Island, on grass by boring in all the time. That was an exhibition. They're playing a tournament there starting Monday, the only American grass court championship, but you bored in all the time. Ace. Number 5.
This is the serve that's improved so much in the last couple of years. A good ball toss, and look how far up he's reaching for the ball. He's getting all his body weight behind that serve, right from the hips on up.
1 game all, 3rd set. A winner, I believe, on the baseline. A good approach, and look what Borg did with it.
Can't play a better approach shot than that. Tremendous topspin lob from Borg. Still insisting on serving with the backhand. Borg knows exactly where it's going every time, and it hasn't got a lot of power in it either, that first serve.
It is good.
Right in the corner. And what an intelligent approach shot it was, too. Had no pace on it at all. He came underneath the ball. Gave Connors nothing to hit.
Oh, he's changing speeds beautifully.
Yes. Deep balls, short balls, fast, slow.
Now there's what you recommended for Connors. Serve and volley once in a while.
That's the one tactic that I thought he should have been doing from the start of the match. There's maybe a little bit of risk entailed, but it's sure better than what's going on right now.
Connors and Borg. A rivalry that goes back 5 years. When they play, it's always for number 1. Center court makes it mean more. Ooh. We're looking at Mariana Simonescu and Leonard Berglund. Fiancé and coach of Borg. Well, these Swedes look as grim as a Bergman movie, but they're ahead. Chrissy Everett. Away with Connors. Borg still going. It will go long.
That's got to be frightening out there. Jimmy's coming up with some great shots. Borg's running everything down. Almost coming up there with a seemingly impossible.
The break point. situation repeated in this match. Connors at break point.
He finally went for one down the middle.
Yeah.
It almost came up with an ace, too, because Borg was moving the other way.
Net court. That helps Connors, who saves another breaker.
Good.
Yes, the corner. But oh, how hard he had to work for it.
Well, Borg is certainly asking some very deep questions of Jimmy Connors. Coming into the net here on a break, the deuce point to set him up with another break point. Connors coming up with the perfect answer, clean passing shot.
But Borg making him hit his best shots to score.
That's right. Asking every possible question.
It does not come up. And Jimmy Connors gets out of the game, leads 2-1 in the third set. Borg has the first two Wimbledon.
Game to Connors.
Singles in a row. How does he feel about this quest? Question again, how does Fred Perry feel about the fact that he may do it? Well, Bud Callens, before the matches, asked both men.
Fred Perry, the champion of Wimbledon 1934-30. Today we'll catch up with radio commentator Fred Perry. Fred, an all-time great. He's enshrined in the International Hall of Fame in Newport, Rhode Island. He won this title 3 straight years, 1934, 35, and 36. Nobody has done that since. But today, Bjorn Borg is 2/3 there in victories and in sets. He's won the last 2 Wimbledons. He's won the last 2 sets played. He is at 1-2 in the third set, but he has not permitted Jimmy Connors to go beyond 2. Incredible.
$15 love. $30 love. $40 love.
Jimmy trying to attack the second serve there, looking for anything that he might be able to attack. He's probing, he's searching, racking his mind to think of something that he can use to regain the initiative, which he has not had since he led 2-love in the first set.
$40-15.
Their last meeting was an exhibition in Tokyo. Borg won 6-1, 6-2, and somebody said to Borg, did Jimmy play badly? And he said, no, both played pretty well. I won 6-1, 6-2. And maybe there's a gap between them now, John.
Well, there could be, but Jimmy said the same thing to me, that he didn't play badly again in the match when he lost 6-1, 6-2. That they had long rallies and Borg was just winning the long rally.
Well, third set. Can Connors get above 2? Could you imagine that I would be asking that question in the Wimbledon final, John?
But it would have been a lot closer at this stage of the match.
Love.
No.
15-all.
Not having a good serving day, is he, on his first serve? He's not getting that many in, and they're not that penetrating even when they do go in. Borg seems to have the ball on a string. He can play it short or deep, whatever he wants. There's a lot of weight behind every shot.
$15.30. Is there desperation, John?
Yes, a lot at this stage.
Actually, he is serving a little better than I thought. 67% on first serves, but it just doesn't seem like it.
No, it's not penetrating, and the main reason is that he's not moving it around the box or varying it up. He's serving without enough thought behind it.
$30-all. If we have time today, we'll be looking at Billie Jean King's quest for a 20th Wimbledon title. That's in the mixed doubles. And we'll be seeing Johnny McEnroe, who's in the doubles final. McEnroe with Peter Fleming. We were feeling sorry for McEnroe a week ago when he lost in the first round of the singles after being a surprise semifinalist a year ago. Here he is, unseeded, with Peter Fleming in the final of the doubles. Center court matches after this. We may be able to show them.
Borg broken another string.
2 strings popped for Bjorn Borg.
But what is the exact rule here?
I think that Connors should get 2 serves.
Well, I think he should too. I'm not sure about it.
Borg has interrupted play.
I don't think he's going to get them, though, or he's not going to ask.
The umpire?
I would certainly have asked for 2.
Youssef Makar says nothing, so it's second ball. He does not want to let Jimmy out of the game.
What a point, both sides. He's hitting some of those forehands with such power.
Borg has his racket strung so tightly. There's the broken string. That he pops a lot of them. Tension is so great, he hits the ball so hard, they're like window panes.
The gut, he's probably using very fine gut
narrow
too.
gauge gut, yes.
But so it's brittle and all that power that he's hitting the ball with.
I never break a string. I use that 23 gauge rope at 15 pounds. And Jimmy Connors does get beyond 2. He leads 3-2 in the third set of the Wimbledon final.
1978 Wimbledon Tennis Championships are being brought to you by Aetna Insurance Companies. Affiliate
Collins with John Newcomb. John Newcomb has won here 3 times. Bjorn Borg may win 3 times in a row. I think the crowd is shifting a little to Connors because they want more sets done.
Quiet, please.
They've been on court about an hour and 45 minutes now, and that's quite a long time for only 2.5 sets of play.
Borg leads 6-2, 6-2, 2-3. Service winner.
He's winning so many more points on his first service power, isn't he, than Connors.
Borg with a very impressive winning streak, coming in here 19 straight, which includes the Italian Open and the French Open.
It was a bad bounce caused Jimmy to miss this, or a bad bounce and also a good kick that Borg put on his serve.
30 love, second ball. Net cord.
Love.
Jimmy Connors has not had a break point. Ooh, and doesn't Jimmy wish that ball had gone over the net?
Well, that's the 3rd time I've seen Borg do that. He was playing someone the other day. I can't think who it was right now, but he dropped the racket. Jaime Fiol. He dropped the racket and picked it up and still won the point.
Still won the point. Maybe he ought to play all his points that way to make it even with everybody else. 3 games all.
Unusual uncertainty from Jimmy Connors then. Didn't know whether to come in and volley that ball or let it bounce.
3 games all.
I've never seen Jimmy being beaten like this. Have you?
No, not when I've seen him lose, but he's played a little off his game. Today he's playing good tennis, but he just doesn't know what to do to penetrate Bjorn.
Bjorn Borg. Sounding like Ethel Merman. Anything you can do, I can do better.
And there's the serve and volley that we've talked about the whole time. And
15 love.
I feel if he does that and he starts getting a lot of first serves in, he's going to win many more points than he'll lose.
Double fault. 3 for Connors.
That was a good change-up. Serve the kicker off the first ball going out to the forehand. He's starting to think a little bit more about his first serve now. What a return.
That's quite an approach he hits, the way he jerks it, keeps the ball low.
It is. It's a good approach shot, and I'll be willing to bet that he's been practicing that all week on the practice courts with his coach, Leonard Bergelin, the sliced approach shot. He seems to be timing it so well that I have to believe he's been working constantly on that shot.
No. Choreography of Bjorn Borg. Those muscles, John.
Yeah, the way he's moving and keeping down into the ball, it's beautiful.
And here is break point. Ooh, good serve. Whoa!
Well, he took the risk. He served and volleyed, and it paid off for him. he stays back, he has that ever-increasing threat of Jimmy being the first one to play the short ball and Bjorn moving into the net.
Every time it's a break point against Jimmy Connors, he's in danger of sliding out of the match.
With a risky approach shot he tried then. First of all, it was too low below the net when he hit it.
What do you mean by that?
Now he picks it up way below net height when he comes in down the line over the high part of the net. And also Borg's got such a great cross-court backhand passing shot.
Great point. Will not go. And 4-3 for Borg in the third set of the Wimbledon final. So Bjorn Borg, first up, has a winning lead now, John Newcomb. 6-2, 6-2, 4-3, Jimmy Connors. Last gasp saloon, just about. He has got to find a way to capture Borg's serve.
Well, as long as Borg keeps serving as well as he has been, it's going to be very, very difficult.
Only once has Connors broken. First time Borg served. Connors led 2-love. Things looked good.
15-love.
Good shot. Jimmy Connors, as you can see here, is not hitting the ball all that badly. He's played better tennis. Look at that shot. You're timing the ball well if you can make that one. He's played better tennis in his time, but not against the caliber of Bjorn Borg.
Well, Borg has made only 10 unforced errors. Connors has made 22. 23.
30-15.
The world of tennis revolves right here. Who's number one? You're watching him serve at this minute. It could change.
Well, but Wimbledon titles have been won from worse positions than this, but not too many often.
We'll look that up. Now a second serve chance for Jimmy.
Yes,
He's down.
Must win this point. He's coming in.
Connors has a break point. It's been a long time between breakers.
30-40.
This is almost a do-or-die point for Jimmy. He's got to break back this game, pull the match even. He did it so coolly.
Just like patting the baby with the powder puff.
Connor's passing shot wasn't that bad.
Oh. Again, that wide slice.
Advantage Borg.
Yes, he serves that wide slice in, and then he's got the saver up his sleeve because he can bang one pretty hard down the middle, too.
out of danger, but he comes out of it to 5-3. Gloria Connors, who raised her right fist triumphantly when Jimmy beat Vitas Gerulaitis.
5-3.
Chrissy Everett, who had a day just about as bad yesterday and losing to Martina Navratilova.
The balls are just blowing off his racket now.
You'd have to go back 51 years to find a man in deeper trouble in the final than Jimmy Connors and come out of it. Henri Cochet, 2 sets down to Jean Barotra, did win.
Cross-court passing shot.
Bjorn Borg flirting with the razor's edge. He has told Fred Perry he will shave that beard if he catches up with Fred in a 3rd successive title. 2 points away. White.
15-30.
Bjorn Borg. Really expressive, isn't he? The balls keep coming back. Yes, Connors. If Connors goes down, it will be swinging.
Once again, Borg came into the net on a nothing approach shot, giving Connors no pace to hit the ball. Gave Borg plenty of time to get into great net position up at the net.
Crowd yelling for Jimmy. Is he down to his last swing?
But this
championship point?
Is a historic point, actually, to win 3 times in a row.
Not since 1936. It is long. Bjorn Borg does have some emotion. And he has caught up with the ages. The crown is his. Bjorn, the bear in Swedish, named for an ancient Swedish king. A young killer. Was that Bjorn? And this one is too, on a tennis court. Leonard Bergling has permitted himself a smile. The coach, Mariana Simeonescu, the fiancé. Fred Perry is on the court, and as well as he should be. This is unusual, but after all, it has been since 1936. A former champion on the court with the reigning champion. Bimby Holt of the All England Club to the left. What a devastating triumph. Something like Jimmy Connors wiped out Kenny Rosewall. Ted Frith. The referee, Fred Hoyles, in the middle.
Borg won by 3 sets to love.
3 sets to love.
6-2.
6-2, 6-2, 6-3. Connors beat Kenny Rosewall in 74. 6-1, 6-1, 6-4. And Fred Perry, I remember that day, he put his arm around Jimmy then. He's a close friend of Jimmy's too. He said, Jimmy, now you're a member of the club. the Wimbledon champions, and they can never take that away from him, John.
That's correct.
This was his 4th final. What's the feeling now, John? You have lost Wimbledon finals, too.
Well, I think Jimmy handled it very well. I think he realizes that today, Bjorn Borg was the better tennis player.
That is like saying an iceberg takes over a bird bath. So we will return to Wimbledon with more of this marvelous championship.
The Duchess and Duke of Kent coming on to center court. Last year, a most memorable year for all of Great Britain, when Virginia Wade, in the Queen's Jubilee year, won the singles title for the women. This year, one of the all-time greats of Great Britain, Fred Perry, has been tied by the Swede Bjorn Borg, who had a straight-set victory over Jimmy Connors, and he will be able to hold above his head that trophy that says the single-handed championships of Wimbledon. The Duke of Kent. Remember, as you watch this, still to be played here at center court. The doubles for the men, which include Peter Fleming and John McEnroe of the United States. And for the women, the mixed doubles, which include Billie Jean King trying for an unprecedented 20th title. But this moment belongs to Bjorn Borg. And there could be no excuses for Jimmy Connors. Coming out, he lost 2, 2, and 3, 6-2, 6-2, 6-3. No one will say this is a cheese championship for Bjorn Borg. He is truly #1 in the world, and he showed that today. And Hillary Hilton, considering that his great friend Chris Evert lost in 3 sets yesterday, and a lot of people thought, including you, that Jimmy Connors would win today, it must be a disappointment for the two of them.
Well, I'm surprised that he lost so easily, actually. The score just doesn't say, I think, what a good match it was as far as the points. The match, as far as the length, was much longer than the score shows also.
Well, as John Newcomb and Bud Collins said, it was not that Jimmy Connors was playing that poorly, although he did have many more unforced errors, but rather the fact that this man played so well. A 3-time champion. Bud and I were in Houston, Texas, about 5 years ago when we first saw Bjorn Borg, a young 17-year-older who came and they said, look out for his backhand. It's not much good, but his forehand is excellent, and someday he will be something. Well, just 5 short years later, he has won 3 Wimbledon championships. And in a moment, we're going to go down to Bud Collins, who will talk to our winner and a man who is making tennis history, Bjorn Borg, at center court Wimbledon. But first, these moments for Bjorn Borg.
The Penn Tennis.
Today, he won his 3rd consecutive Wimbledon singles championship. Bjorn Borg of Sweden. Incredible as it may seem to you, for the 3rd time in 3 successive years, I send it now to Bud Collins, who's waiting to come around the corner. The same winner in each of the last 3 years, Bjorn Borg. Bud?
They're coming now. Jimmy, may we have a word? Jimmy Connors, they saluted you when you held your trophy. You've been a powerful figure on this court, a champion. Today, what was your story of the match?
Well, I think I started out playing pretty good. I struggled to hold my first serve, and then I broke Bjorn in his first game, but I never really felt like I was into the match quite enough, and I didn't serve quite well enough that I thought to keep me in the match. And after that, I think I started pressing a little bit too hard, trying to make too many good shots, which I didn't really have to do. It was just something that I should have just stayed out there and played the point the way I think it should have been played, instead of going and rushing. And I don't think I rushed too much. It was just that I wasn't quite into the match like I should have been, the way he was. And
have you ever seen him play better?
Oh, he plays good every time he goes out there. You know, that's a good part of his game and the good part of my game that was the first round of the finals. We're going to try to play just like that, and he played well.
We hope we see many more of them, Jimmy. Congratulations.
Hopefully. Thank you.
Thank you. Here's the tip of the iceberg, right up here. A smile? Congratulations.
Thank you.
What does it feel like? 3 straight. Fred Perry came down. What did Fred say to you?
Well, first he, congratulated me, and then
he said that I have to shave.
You have to shave.
Yes.
The razor will be there.
The razor will be there, yeah.
Do you mind that?
No, I don't mind that.
When did you feel you might have the match won?
Well, actually, in the beginning of the match, I felt very good. You know, he broke immediately. He had 2 love, but I was feeling very well. And after I took the first set, then I knew that I had a pretty good chance to win this match. But I have to come down to maybe a break or even match point down in the 3rd set, because always Jim is coming back. He never gives up. So then I took the 2nd set, and in the 3rd, I took my games pretty easy in the beginning of the 3rd set, and he has to work really hard, you know. And then finally I broke. And I think it was a very important game when I took my serve for 5-3, because he had a break point back to 4-all.
4th game of the 2nd set, you were down love 40 and 4 break points. That was a big game.
That was a big game too, and actually from love 40 after I won the game, I was hitting, you know, my first serve in. I think I played, you know, 4 good points there.
For sure you are the champion. Congratulations, Tak Likatil.
And so in our coverage this afternoon, you've seen Bjorn Borg win the men's singles and Martina Navratilova the ladies singles. But there's still more matches to be played, more decisions to be made. There.